Welcome back. You're continuing to watch our coverage here from Davos 2026 as we bring you the global outlook on the trends that will shape the year and beyond. How much of the world is going to be reset on account of President Trump's policies? Where do emerging markets like India find their place in all of this? And what will be the priorities that CEOs will focus on? What is top of mind in boardrooms? Joining us now to discuss all of that and more is Manny Maceda, the chairman of Bain, always a regular with us here in Davos. Manny, great to see you. Thanks so much for your time and great to have you back on CNBC-TV18.
Thank you for having me. I'm always happy to see you, Shireen.
So, Manny, let me start by asking you, you've been talking to CEOs here in Davos, but even in the run-up to Davos, the conversations that have happened, what are CEOs saying? Are they saying that, look, we can't wait for the storm to settle, whether it's President Trump or anybody else, we just need to get on with business?
I would say that the thematic issues that CEOs have wrestled with actually haven't changed that much the last 3 or 4 years. AI is number one. The post-global order, and we're in the middle of that shift, is number two. And then on top of that, the more ongoing challenge of energy transition during scarcer, higher cost of capital times. But the first and the second are the most intertwined. AI is now at the point where it's real. Are we deploying it at scale?
Yeah.
And the post-global order, whatever that is or whatever it means, intersects in ways that influences all of our, not just our strategic choices, but our strategic scenario and contingency planning.
Yeah, I would imagine there's plenty of scenario planning happening because, as you point out, we don't quite know. But let's address the AI issue because that continues to be top of mind here. And as you said, it's real. It is being deployed. We're moving now from pilot to deployment at scale. But the question still being asked is, what is it doing to the bottom line? It's not showing up on the bottom line yet. When will it start to show up in the bottom line?
If you look at the valuation of companies, obviously the expectation is that all of these values will actually show up. So I would say that probably 20% are actually already getting it into the bottom line, and it started with where does the bottom line show up? The most obvious places is it's not across the board. It's in very specific functions, tasks. And so when you have a lot of tasks that could be AI enabled in a way that the productivity is increased, that shows up. Some basic software engineering, customer care. In many cases, it hasn't scaled to more complicated tasks yet because it's actually an organizational change. People actually have to adopt it and use it to capture it. On the flip side, whether it will show up being underwritten with revenue growth and new ideas and new opportunities, both of these haven't happened yet at scale. But I would say the expectation, the optimism, the belief that all of these investments we are making will show up is very high, and that it'll be in the next 1 to 3 years.
1 to 3 years? Well, it's not very far out.
No.
But, are CEOs still focused on AI from an optimization point of view, from an efficiency point of view, or are we closer to using AI from really transformation purposes?
I would say it's probably 50-50. And so if you look, well, what does transformation mean anyway for companies?
New areas of business, new revenue streams, all of that.
So I would say it's half and half. That the easiest way to underwrite your use case, you're making a meaningful investment in additional technology spend in AI. Well, where will that come from? The most obvious case is, can I redeploy my past technology spend to it? The second is, can I actually get productivity out of it back to these specific, and does productivity mean labor efficiency that I can capture? That's a little bit where most of them started. But yes, the belief now in some use case more than others, yes, will this change the actual business model? And the term transformation is hard because native to AI companies that will start, just like in past technologies, might actually get there faster or quicker than an existing company that has to transform. But that's what probably the number one topic that's still discussed here. Now, there is an overlap between AI and all the global issues.
Yes.
It shows up in the new technology stack that is the AI stack of today, right? Because we know what the old stack was. what was the semiconductor, what was the PC, what was the software, what was the applications layer? Well, the new stack starts with things that you didn't think of as part of the stack before. Predictable, reliable energy, a lot of it. For data centers, big cloud service providers that had been mostly American companies, a new layer called the large language model that's playing out. And so I do think the companies that are now deciding, they will continue to invest in AI with the belief and expectation that we will capture the returns on that investment either in cost efficiency or new markets. But it has to overlap with your geographic choices.
Let's talk a little bit about India in the context of Carney's medium power thesis. And do you believe actually the medium powers or countries who are not firmly placed between this US-China battle will in fact benefit from what is going on today?
I would probably place India squarely. I don't know. I would not consider you a small power. The world's largest population, the world's a very attractive market. So, just the recognition of that, and I don't know that the world is as simple as it's two poles and where are you. I guess that's part of his thesis. You have to play multiple sides. You have to understand, and so the fact that India is building, let's call it, multiple bilateral relationships with different countries it's arguably a good thing, and it's the right thing, and you have to play that and balance it. And by the way, those are country strategies. Companies are doing versions of that strategy too, because it goes to, well, where do I do business? Which suppliers do I go to? Where do I hire and move my talent? And for all that's happening, as you and I have talked the last few years, India is a high priority market for the multinational corporates and private investors relative to the other markets in the world. Right? It's a great domestic market. It's upgrading its capabilities in infrastructure, in AI, in energy. China used to be higher foreign direct investment than India. Well, India passed China, and most people I know are still long on India, us included.
Yes, I know. Bain is long on India, but what does that mean as far as Bain's plans for India go?
I think continue to have it be a priority market to keep building, and so if you think of any market that we're in as a professional global services firm, number one is the domestic market. Indian companies are growing large, and they're operating not just in India, but they're going around the world. Number two, multinationals. They prioritize India. Number three, our financial investor base, the private equity firms. Most of them will say this is one of our top 2 or 3 markets in the world. And so if you say all of that are places that we can help support and enable for India to grow, we will be there by showing up with more people, more markets. Also, like many companies, we have a large capability center there, and that's why India has the highest. We have the highest headcount in India after the United States, in a company with tens of thousands of people. That's going to continue to be a good place. Although that's also an interesting place. You're going back to your first question. The impact of AI on tasks performed by Indian capability centers is probably something you want to think about and anticipate some disruption as well. But as far as we're concerned, we'll continue to invest in India, and I'll keep coming to visit, and we can keep having these chats.
Before I let you go, Manny, do you walk away from Davos as a concerned optimist or a cautious optimist?
I am an optimist still. I legitimately do have concerns. I think this is a complicated time in the world, and when you combine the implications of global politics, the potential of AI, and even some of the things we haven't talked about, the intersection of those two, not just on things like combat, defense, weaponry, capabilities, drones, security, hacking, etc. There's a lot. There's a lot you could be concerned about
Yeah.
that we've also lived through, and so building our resilient muscles. So if we can scenario plan
Yeah.
multiple worst-case scenarios and have an agenda that we do a few things so that we're ready when they do happen, I think we'll be better off.
Well,
I am concerned.
You are concerned, and,
Yes.
and legitimate cause for concern. But scenario planning consultants do that best. So I guess you're going to be busy through the course of the year. But Manny, always a pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us here on CNBC-TV18, and we look forward to your next visit in India and hope to catch up with you there as well.
We'll see you. Thank you so much.
Well, that is Manny Maceda, the chairman of Bain, taking us through what CEOs are thinking, what boardrooms are focused on, but more importantly, how the risks that we're currently dealing with can be mitigated as we move forward. We're going to take a break. A lot more continues right after this. We're back in a moment.